Maduro turned Venezuela into the biggest threat to U.S. national security. If you thought the Caribbean was just a paradise for beaches and piña coladas, think again. The U.S. military just turned that turquoise water into the setting for a very different kind of action scene, one that narco-terrorists definitely didn't see coming. This week, American forces carried out a precision strike on a Venezuelan speedboat packed with drugs and armed members of the Tren de Aragua gang. 11 suspects were killed in the operation, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth wasted no time making it clear this wasn't just about one boat, it was about sending a message. In his words, Nicolás Maduro, the man still clinging to power in Venezuela, now faces some very real choices. Secretary Hegseth emphasized that U.S. military strength isn't just talk. He pointed to examples from Trump's presidency, whether it was securing freedom of navigation against the Houthis, the Midnight Hammer operation in Iran, or securing the southwest border. The strategy is the same: use precision power to reshape the playing field. And now, that playbook is open in the Caribbean. Translation? Maduro can either rethink his narco-trafficking ways or brace for the consequences. Now, if you're wondering how people in Venezuela feel about this moment, opposition leader María Corina Machado, often called the bravest woman in Latin America, didn't hold back. She expressed deep gratitude to Washington, saying that Maduro has turned Venezuela into the single biggest threat to U.S. national security and regional stability. Strong words, but she insists this isn't only about Venezuela, it's about saving lives on both sides of the Caribbean. According to Machado, Maduro sits at the top of a narco-terrorist machine, one that has enriched a corrupt elite while devastating ordinary citizens. But she also noted something else, that the window of impunity may finally be closing. In her words, it's time for Maduro to accept the will of the Venezuelan people who overwhelmingly voted against him. But if you think Maduro is just sulking in his palace, think again. Pressure is mounting, repression is growing, and his inner circle is lashing out. Just recently, his powerful ally Diosdado Cabello, the Minister of Interior and Justice, issued a chilling warning. He threatened that if the U.S. turns up the heat, opposition leaders like Machado would pay the price. She's been living in hiding for over a year, but she insists Venezuelans will not be silenced. Behind the threats are harsh realities. More than 800 political prisoners languish under brutal conditions, facing torture and abuse. Machado says this cruelty only proves how cornered the regime feels. She adds that Maduro can't strike back at the U.S. directly, so he targets the vulnerable at home instead. But in her view, this strategy is already backfiring. Venezuelans, she says, are more united than ever, preparing for a peaceful transition and ready to rebuild. And here's where the FOMO comes in. If you're Venezuelan and living abroad, you may want to keep your suitcase handy. Machado predicts that once Maduro steps aside, millions who fled will rush home. She envisions a Venezuela reborn, secure, prosperous, and even one of America's closest allies in trade and energy. Imagine spending Christmas back in Caracas with family. That's the dream fueling countless social media posts in Spanish right now. Machado also laid out a clear plan for the first 100 hours and 100 days after Maduro's exit, restoring institutions, securing the nation, and rebuilding hope. And she didn't stop there. She boldly claimed that Maduro's downfall could trigger something bigger, the unraveling of other authoritarian regimes in Cuba and Nicaragua. For the first time in history, she said, the Americas could be free of communist dictatorships. If that prediction holds, it would mark one of the most dramatic foreign policy victories of the Trump era. But for now, what's certain is this: Maduro is running out of options, the opposition is refusing to back down, and the world is watching closely. So don't blink, because history in Venezuela may be unfolding faster than you think.